Have you ever woke up in the middle of a dream and the dream was so interesting that you wanted to back to sleep to see the end of it? If so, what was the dream? I was eating nuggets at local McDonald's, briefly woke up, turned off alarm and went back to finish the nugs. Quite often, actually. Lately that kind of dreams have been centered around my deceased son and spending time with him, at least in my dreams. All the time. Most recently I was kissing someone for the first time in my dream. I've been married for over 20 years, so that rush of a first kiss is long behind me. It was nice to feel the butterflies again, and I wanted to get back in that dream for more kissing. My classmates and me were running and I looked behind me and saw freaking Usain Bolt following us with a effing shotgun. We ran through a field and through our school and past some characters from my favorite TV show. I remember my PE teacher opened a gate and only let one of my classmates pass through. It was the fastest classmate BTW, and I ran past him thinking that motherfucker always hated me. I woke up when Usain Bolt catched up to us. I really wanted to find out if he was gonna kill us or something. I have a weird imagination. How about you? With that checking out username, you should have some good ones to tell. It's a recurring dream, several years, on and off, that I look forward to every time it happens. I'm behind a large, secluded waterfall with a mermaid. It feels very real, but I always wake up prematurely afterwards. The dream never continues where we left off when I finally fall back asleep. Might get buried, but hey, I think I was dreaming about saying yes instead of rejecting this boy who I really liked. I had so much fun in the dream as it felt like an eternity. In the dream, I can't remember exactly what happened, and dreams are boring to listen to anyways, so I'll spare you the details. When I woke up I found myself crying. I rejected him because I didn't know if I was lesbian or asexual, etc. But I regretted everything and wanted to tell him, but he's dating his ex-girlfriend now. I don't know what to do, and I don't want to split them up. The dream felt surreal too, like a lucid dream. Which I think it was. The dream was about me and my mom buying a PS4, then my mom in the real world woke me up and I can still remember my disappointing after I realized that I didn't have a PS4. At least my mom did pancakes. They were good. I was happy. A school shooting massacre, it reoccurs every so often. I got into Hogwarts. I was a student at Hogwarts. It was amazing. I was just starting to jam in with the 1973 The Rolling Stones. Have you ever had the dream that you would, to, that, you, that, over the, if, that, you would, you could, that, if, you, that, where, when, you, so, you wanted to, in the, so, you could do anything? I don't remember. This is a great question, but one that I could only answer if you were to ask me within the first 30 seconds after I wake up. When I was younger I would always have a recurring dream where I was in my house and demons were following me around. Every time, they would be in a different form. I was so terrified of that dream, and I always wanted to figure out how it ended, but I always woke up at the scary parts. The only way I found to stop the dreams was to finish the story in my head, and once I wrote it down I never got the dreams again. Snoop Dogg saving me from the clutches of an evil fairy trying to trap me in her garden. Was it a weed garden? Yes, I think it was. In my dream, I was about to eat what was known as the best sandwich ever. I woke up literally milliseconds before the bite. I tried too hard to get back to that dream. Guess you'll never know. I once had a dream I was climbing a mountain of popcorn. It what looked like the opening scene of Sound of Music. I woke up when I got to the top. Always wondered where it was headed. Had one of those really vivid dreams that I won the lottery. This was like 25 years ago, and I would still rather be in that dream than awake. I was little and I was dreaming that I was a Barbie. Which one? I think from a movie, a fairy Barbie actually. I was talking with my other fairy friends and I woke up. I was so mad because of it. Last night, I had a dream that I was part of a group of explorers that was in the midst of fighting off a group of yetis in the jungle. My dreams do not make sense. After the fight, the group and I were lounging in a hospital room and I was talking with a nurse. We were talking about life, weird things, sexual exploits, and regrets. I remember the nurse saying, "Hug me." I hugged her and felt happy. Then my cat jumped on me, clawing my chest and me waking up at 7 a.m. Damn that I was happy. Damn you, cat. I was in a dream recently where I was a YouTuber and I got cancelled because of a Google review saying, paraphrasing, 1 star, less than my name greater than told, less than my friend's name greater than to kill herself during a dark time. Now I'm cancelled in my dreams. I woke up and fell right back asleep just to say, hey, how do you guys even know that's me? I didn't do it. Ask less than my friend greater than. Then everyone believed me and we danced and somebody broke their head. I was dreaming that I was becoming a werewolf. I think that was at the start of the dream though. I was at my house in my room, I guess, and then suddenly I started transforming. The only thing I remember from the transformation is that my werewolf ears were growing and suddenly, I woke up. Wish I could go back to it to see how much I could transform. _ Iron Man dream. I was Tiny Stark exhibiting a new flying armor with powers and everything. It had magnetic boots and a lightsaber. It doubled as a flying dream too. Then my mom called me and woke me up to remind me of our brunch date and I had to be nice to her. Best dream I ever had. Honestly, it surprises me how so many of you can share your dreams. I know I definitely have experienced this. However, it's almost like as soon as I wake up in the morning and go about my daily life, I have completely forgotten the dream, so I couldn't even tell you. This actually happened to me last night. I had a dream about my friend's ex, whom he now hates. I dreamed that we were walking through a hotel lobby and man asked me to be a fill-in judge for a drumming competition. I told him I didn't know anything about drumming, but he still wanted me to be a judge. So I'm sitting there judging the drummers and his ex-GF kept rubbing my arm and softly kissing my cheeks. I remember thinking, when this is over I'm so getting laid. I woke up shortly afterwards. I texted my friend first thing this morning and we both found it amusing. I wish the dream would have continued. She was a hot piece of ace. Me seeing my ex in a place and her spotting me. Then her forgiving me for all the stupid stuff I did. Then she gave me a hug. A couple of days back, I had a dream in which I was aware that I was dreaming. It was a dream within a dream. So effing fascinating it was. It took me a little time to gain control on the actual reality. My brain circuitry felt a little twitched. It wasn't interesting. Was a nightmare with Sonic.exe and Zalgo being my neighbors and torturing me about eating old man randoms. This has recently started to happen to me, from what I can remember. It was about me and a real-life YouTube trio called IJUSTWANTTOBECOOL. We were in my grandparents' house trying to uncover some conspiracy. After some very intense searching and odd clues that would fit the YouTube trio's comedy style, One of them turned out to be a part of the conspiracy and he also tried to mislead us or something. Then he overdramatically jumped over a very tall wall to escape and then I woke up. I was practically forcing me to sleep because it was really getting good. I've had some other dreams but once they get good I always wake up and miss the ending. I have very random dreams actually. One time, when I was in middle school, I woke up in the middle of this weird dream with race cars and libraries and I was friends with Taylor Swift, I think, who I met in the library. I think she was pregnant. Me and some random people raced around what I think was my middle school campus. Very interesting, don't you think? I have tried but I never go back into the same dream. It's always a new one. I was at a fun fair and somehow I ended up having sex with a midget. I still remember it clearly to this day. I was Littlefoot from Land Before Time and I was adventuring with the rest of the gang in a forest near where I lived. Told my mom I wanted to stay home and keep sleeping. I was so adamant she didn't ask for any explanations and allowed me to. Ended up being the very first time I skipped preschool. Or any school actually. Woke up enough to not be able to get back to that same dream, sadly. 2 nights ago I had a dream that I was the leader of a heist and we were stealing the secrets the government had been keeping from the people. So, my friends and I walk into this random government building that I guess was the important one and it was kind of formatted like a video game. At one point, the building turned into a mall but the catch was you could only get the thing you wanted if you were able to leave behind all of the other tempting items. Then it ended, loudly crying face. I was like 5, and I was washing oranges. Just had a dream I was on a TV game show where everyone was living in a house together doing challenges and stuff and every week someone got voted out by the viewers and eliminated. The twist was that everyone on the show had to wear a noose at all times and people were usually voted out randomly at night. There was a large black hole in the ceiling that all the ropes led up through. People would just be going about their business and ZOOP they would get strung up and zipped high into the air away from the rest of the people in the house. I was playing the game and got voted out. I saw the tension in my line start to tighten, so I grabbed the rope and was able to hold myself up as I got ripped into the air. I quickly twisted the rope around a little into a loop and gave myself a foothold. I kept rising higher and higher until I reached the mechanism that was raising me. The foot loop I made went inside the machine and jammed it, and the rope snapped. I fell into a sort of collection tray that moved under me after I went up. The tray was full of blood and other previous contestants but their nooses were so tight it cut their head clean off. And they were just dead in the tray. I literally just woke up from this and saw this thread. I want to go back to sleep to find out how I'll escape why this game show exists. Pretty much all of my dreams are like this. For instance, last night I dreamt that I was told at last-minute notice I had to learn a dance routine to cover for a famous pop group on stage in front of a huge live audience. I was struggling to learn the routine and things kept happening to disrupt me. Just as the live performance was meant to start I woke up so I never got to see how well the concert went. I also had a dream about 2 superheroes who were in love. One of them discovered a way to foil a plot to blow up a city, but the villain wasn't who they suspected and it made one of them look like they joined the villains. The misunderstanding caused the other to turn against them. I wanted to finish that dream to see whether things worked out. Forgot. I always forget. Being happy. Dreamt about effing with my BF. I had a dream that people would stop asking the same 10 questions on our AskReddit every day. I've been working long hours and very hard for the past few months. In my dream I was relaxing at a Caribbean villa overlooking the countryside. It was so goddamn peaceful. I'd tell you, but I can't seem to remember it. I don't really know if this counts, because I don't really know what I was thinking when I woke up. I dreamt this dream a year ago, somewhere in summer 2019. There was this boy, who I know, but we aren't close or speak to each other. But, let's get to my dream. A family who had a house in my village, but lived in another country, decided to rent their house to tourists. I remember that some guys from the Netherlands booked it for the summer. But the boy and his mom were about to buy it. The men were leaving the house one night, and the two were moving it the same night. His mom came running to our house, which was about 15 minutes away from there. She somehow knew that my dad was a policeman. She panicked, cried, screamed. She finally told us what was going on. Her son got raped by the guys, is hiding in his bedroom, and the guys are acting and packing like nothing happened. Keep it in mind, in my dream, the boy was a stranger to me and I had no connections to him. I still don't know why I did it, but I took my dad's pistol. And, for some time, nothing happened. It was like I just jumped over to the next scene. Blood. I only saw red fluid. It was on my hands, on the floor, all over the car. I shot them. Eventually, when I ran off of ammunition, I strangled some of them. I was shaking, but so confident. No police was involved. I entered their house, and the mom even thanked me, gave me fresh clothes. The ending scene was, I don't really know how to describe what I felt. He was smiling at me, hugged me, and I felt his heartbeat. That's it. I'm not really a person who talks about myself a lot, or asks anyone for advice. I felt quiet down for a few days, wasn't paying attention in school, or wasn't listening to people. I had to tell my dad, the only person who was able to give me a good advice. I did it. We kinda talked things out. I still don't know the reason of the dream. I mean, my life wasn't stressful at that time. I wasn't watching any horror films or stuff that had something with blood, killing, or bodies. It just happened. But, I did want to know what happened after. I mean, me getting arrested or not, the friendship relationship to the boy. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to hear more of the best posts.